And we're live. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Brain Candy Podcast, episode 279. Sarah.
Oh, I almost rhymed, but wait, I may have accidentally rhymed.
Wait, how did you?
Because you said 279, and then I went, I may have accidentally rhymed. I didn't mean to.
You can't stop.
Don't hold it against me. I can't,
How
really.
are you today?
Oh, I'm doing well. The sun is shining, but it's deceptive because it's fucking freezing out here. Sorry,
I know.
Linda.
We were looking at our pool, and it looked so inviting.
Yeah.
Like, it would not be. If you took
it's
put
freaking
your
freezing.
toe in there, no good.
No way. No, I'm cold.
I
oh
was
my gosh.
thinking,
No, go ahead.
No, I was telling Adam I wanted to do one of those polar dips on like New Year's Day or whatever, where you jump in and you're like freezing.
What, are you insane? This is like
Well,
the
you know
last
those-
thing on the planet I want to do.
You know those things like in different cities where people jump in like icy waters.
Right, and it's supposed to be like really good for your body. In Finland, they like do it all the time.
Did you ever see that Tony Robbins documentary where he has one of these dunk pools in his house and he does it every day?
That makes sense for Tony Robbins.
What do you think?
Am
of
I
that
supposed
guy?
to be? Oh my gosh, Suze. I wanted to talk to you about this because that keeps coming up as like, oh, you should watch this on my Netflix documentary things.
It's good.
I think I should. Like, I don't know why I've been kind of like put him into this like kind of culty category, but
Well, that's why you should watch
based
it,
on what I've
though.
seen, it seems amazing.
Well, that's why you need to watch it, though, because I want to know what your opinion is after you watch it, whether you think
Yeah, I'm
he's
gonna
a
have to see
culty guy or whether it's like good stuff.
Here's my impression from having zero background information and nothing to base it on. I wonder if it would be as effective if it wouldn't. I think it's effective because it's a man preaching this stuff.
Right.
I feel like the only person I can think can even come close is Oprah, and I don't think that. I feel like the messages that or at least what I saw in the previews, a lot of what he's saying are things that your therapist would tell you. Things that, are very female, like, you are not your problems. Like, you are, like, I love you for you, and I look at you and I see somebody who could be amazing and whatever. I'm like, that's what your mom tells you, Like, that's what women talk all the time. And I feel like because it's being delivered from a man and in this very, like, almost, I don't know, over-the-top aggressive way. Maybe
Yes.
not aggressive. That's the wrong word.
No, it
But,
is
like,
the right word. He's super
Maybe it
aggressive
is.
and he swears at them and like drops the F-bomb all the time, and Linda
yeah.
would hate it.
Oh, my gosh. That's
And
so funny.
it's like super, it's almost like too aggressive for me. It's over the top.
Yeah.
But people like it.
I don't respond well to that. But I think some people really do.
Like that, you mean?
Yes.
Some people like need to be yelled at.
Yes. Not yelled at, but they need like a wake-up call. And it has to be, I don't know, maybe a little more confrontational. In therapy, they call it caring confrontation.
No.
Yes. It's an actual
You mean you're
intervention.
supposed to do it?
Well, I mean, when necessary. It's not when the person needs it, It's like, and that's not really the way, It's not like you're confronting them in an aggressive way, but it's like part of cognitive behavioral therapy where you would provide like caring confrontation if somebody had an irrational belief.
Really?
Like maybe like a hoarder, for example.
Oh, right.
They need a wake-up call.
Tough love.
Hello. You're saving your pee. Come on. Hey, this ain't good.
You're saving your pee. They know that though, right? When hoarders know they shouldn't save their.
I think because it's one of those things where if your mind's job is to like convince itself that it's done the right thing. So it'll start creating a story justifying actions and behaviors. So it'll start to say, well, here's why you had to do it. You had to do it like, think about, oh my God, Suze, remember the story I told you of the Kohl's item that was accidentally shipped to me?
Yes.
I feel like I should share this with people. Okay,
yes,
so
tell them what you did, Sarah.
Here's the story. Here's my shame. But it's okay because now I've since paid for it like tenfold. So karma's a bitch. Whatevs. Okay, so I got sent a wrong item. Like my order from like Black Friday, they sent me an Under Armour sweatshirt in XXL. Oh my God, I'm going to get tweets about this.
Socks.
Instead of a pair of men's fleece pajama pants.
Oh, okay.
And one was $32 and one was $9.99. So I'm sitting here like, oh my God, Black Friday's over now. None of the good sales are on. Oh, I can't. What am I going to do? I'm not just going to like, I can't. What am I going to do with the XXL sweatshirt? And Lando would be insulted if I gave that to him. So could you imagine? He's going to be like, what? But I'm losing weight. I'm
Merry
fit for 40.
Christmas.
Right. Oh God. So I take it back to the store and I did a little fib and I said, I would like to return this and I don't have my receipt. Now, mind you, I didn't call them and say, hey, an item is missing from my order. Please resend it. So it's like I get 2 for 1. Really, I'm just like saving $15. Like I get a little $15 bonus. So
It's
then
like Kohl's Cash.
Totally. It's like that, which I probably used anyway. So it was like their money to begin with. And, you know, and then I ended up buying like the wrong thing and, like, I wasted the money anyway because, like, as Susie knows, I bought a pair of tights and I thought it was black, but it was really like gray and dumb, and I'm never going to return them. So anyways, it was like a waste. But my whole point is that as soon as I did that, I started giving myself a list of reasons as to why it was okay. Just like I'm doing right now. Like, I started going, okay, well, it's fine because it was only this much and I didn't return it. It's not like I did this. And that is what my brain is doing just for this one event. Imagine if it were something really, like, bizarre. Your brain starts going into self-preservation protection mode, going, nope, you did the right thing. Here's why. So I think they do need confrontation, is my whole point.
No, they definitely do. I just can't believe that they I always thought in the back of their mind they knew that this was like disordered behavior.
I think maybe in the back of their mind they do, but in that reactive front part, it's like, which part are you using? Like that higher brain or lower brain?
Right. Well, I mean,
That's what it all comes down to.
They could use a little something I like to call talk space. And
boy, oh boy.
This time of year, I think a lot of people are stressed and, you know, some people feel really sad this time of year and go through a lot of emotional turmoil. And Talkspace is an online therapy company that lets you message a licensed therapist from anywhere at any time, so you don't have to go to their office. And it's such a nice alternative if you have a difficult schedule or you just feel a little intimidated by the therapy experience. It's a nice introduction to talking about what's on your mind or things from your past. And you can do it from the convenience of your phone or email, a computer. And the Talkspace platform has over 2,000 licensed therapists who are experienced in addressing life's challenges that we all friggin' face. To match with a perfect therapist for a fraction of the price of traditional therapy, go to Talkspace.com/braincandy and use the code BRAINCANDY to get $45 off your first month and show your support for the show. That's Brain Candy and Talkspace.com/braincandy. We could all use it, especially if you're hoarding, like Sarah said. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say like Sarah, and I'm like, shh, that's just one closet.
It's just Christmas.
You don't know me.
I have a story for you.
Tell me. Lay it on me, sister.
I never heard of this, but now it makes total sense. New York apparently outlawed what they're calling cyber flashing. Have you heard of this? Where
cyber flashing?
Yeah. Yes, where if you have your airdrops set to public, people are sending their dicks, not like pictures of their dicks via airdrop.
Yeah, no, I got that.
On like subways and out in public to just like random people. So because you know how when you get something via airdrop, even if you push decline, you've already seen the dick.
Oh my God, Suze, this is just like when I was saying I don't like dicks on Instagram or whatever it was.
Right.
Because I don't want a surprise penis in my face.
Yes.
It's the same. It's totally invasive and like what it's flashing.
Yes.
Ew, I hate it.
Yes. And like to
And what
think
about
if you
the
were
children?
on. Yes. That's a good point because you don't know who you're sending it to. Like,
No, you don't. And
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. So, like, if you're sitting on the subway or on the bus or something, and your settings allow for anybody to airdrop you, someone could just randomly send you their dick and balls.
Oh my God.
What would you do? Would you stand up and start yelling or what?
Oh, that's interesting because it's like somebody there close to you.
You could be like, whose dick is this?
I would do the opposite. Based on what I know when I get confronted with any sort of like,
Me too.
I would freeze and turn into a little girl.
Me too.
That's so goddamn annoying. And you know the worst part? And this is where the power comes from. This is what it's all about. It's not about showing the penis or whatever. I'm thinking about that moment. I would spend the rest of the day, if not week, if not more than that, thinking about how I was like, it would just pop into my head, you know?
Yes.
Not like
the terrorizing.
So it's a power thing. It's that person now lives in your head for however long.
You know what? By the way, you're so right because I don't think we ever followed up on the fact that you were right about the person that was putting pins in the strawberries. They caught the person.
Yeah.
Well,
and
you knew. You go. That sounds like it was a woman, and you were right.
Oh, dude.
Yep.
Am I good or am I good?
You are because you were like, that's a very specific like I forget the word you used, but.
Yeah,
that describes the desire to harm, but like without that immediate reward of like whatever perverts.
Oh God, I don't know what that one's called, but man, I knew it was a woman.
And I feel like
I mean, 50-50 shot, but you know.
Yeah, but I would have never thought of that, and you definitely like most people when they think of a criminal, they think of a man, so it's not exactly 50-50.
Correct.
And like when you're talking about the cyber flashing and you're like, it's not about the dick, it's about them being in your head. I think that you're onto something there.
Oh, Suze, I love when you tell me I'm right. It's like, I'm like getting turned on over here. I'm like, whoa, am I ovulating or is it just Susie telling me I'm right?
Wait, here's another weird thing. That's hilarious. Another weird thing to me though is how I think a lot and study serial killers. And, you know, a lot of people are like, it's funny how we don't have as many these days. And I always talk about how technology has really limited people's ability to not get caught. But oddly, in this case, flashing is now easier because of technology.
So I would imagine voyeurism is as well.
Yes.
And like those, ew.
Like the motel guy.
Yes. Oh God, I'm sure I said this story on here before, but I dated a guy who worked for Homeland Security, and I moved in the meantime. Like so while we were together, I moved into a new apartment, and I go into the new apartment, and like I call him, I'm talking to him on the phone, and I'm like, oh, moving in, so fun, blah blah blah. And he's like, did you check for bugs? And I was like, funny you say that. There was like a palmetto bug in my kitchen, and I do need to get an exterminator. He's like, no, dummy. But like video cameras and shit. And I never in a million years had that thought that there's a chance that I rent an apartment from somebody and it could be bugged. Like it could have cameras in it. But this is something that frickin' happens. And he's not saying that because, you know, he was a paranoid person. He's saying that because he knows from his own job experience.
Well, how am I supposed to check for that though?
Who knows? That's what I'm like, what do I need? One of those little wands, like they sweep the... I don't fucking know. I need like the Find My iPhone, but for like bugs. I don't even know how that works. I didn't even think of that kind of bug. I totally talked about how there was like a cockroach in my house. I was like, that's weird that you say that. Maybe I should get an exterminator. It's like, oh God.
Well, I mean, you could check for that, or you could go outside your door and check and see if you got a FabFitFun box.
Oh, that would be way better.
That would be way better than being bugged.
Way better. Ooh, I want to say something about my FabFitFun box. Thank God for what I got, because I think I was the only person in Southern California who had an umbrella in the back of their car when we had the torrential downpours the other week. So thank you, FabFitFun.
That's right, because we were out when it was raining, and you were like, hey, I have an umbrella. I'm like, what?
Yep.
You're like, yeah, it came in my FabFitFun box.
Yep. Didn't know how to work it for the first few times, but then I got the hang of it.
Shut up.
No, for real. I had some trouble. I didn't know like proper like.
Oh
Suze,
my
I've used an
God.
umbrella. Like I can count the amount of times I've used an umbrella on 2 hands, maybe 1.
That makes me sick.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know.
I don't even know like if I've ever actually bought an umbrella because they're just everywhere in Pittsburgh, and when you need one, you just pick it up from the door and just take it.
That's so funny. Oh, that's
But-
hilarious.
Hopefully, if you got your FabFitFun seasonal subscription box, you'll get an umbrella. I got a beautiful blanket. I got tons of full-size makeup and beauty products and things like that. They have full-size stuff, no samples. And it's such a great value because the value of the box is really high, and this is super cheap and affordable, but makes a great gift. I'm super into giving this to like the teacher in your life or your sister or your mom or somebody that wants to be pampered or deserves a little break. Sign up for FabFitFun today. FabFitFun boxes are amazing. They always sell out. Use our code BRAINCANDY and you get $10 off your first box. Go to fabfitfun.com to sign up and start getting the box for a life well lived. Use promo code BRAINCANDY to get $10 off your first box. That's over $200 for only $39.99. Go to fabfitfun.com and use my code BRAINCANDY to get $10 off your first FabFitFun box. It's a good deal.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, so that's freaking me out about the cyber. Definitely change your settings, though, if you have yours to set.
I am
public.
going to.
Yeah.
I think I have it set to only people who are in your contacts.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's safe.
Eek.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, wow.
And then on a similar note, I read today that Starbucks is finally blocking people from watching porn there.
Oh, my goodness.
I can't believe this.
Oh,
Who's doing that?
Well, there was an episode, that show that I love, Broad City. There was an episode, like, they always are, you know, jokey and everything and real, like, campy and I don't even know what the word is, but they're hilarious. And there's one scene where they're, like, in a coffee shop and they make a reference to that where they're like, can you believe it? Like, somebody in here who's not watching porn. And then she's like, wait, what do you mean?
What?
And then they cut from screen to screen of everybody who's sitting there and like have it blurred. The screen's blurred. And it's like every single person who's in the coffee shop is watching porn. So maybe this is like a thing on the DL that like I didn't even know about because I don't live in a city where people like frequent coffee. It's not like New York or, you know, a more suburban or a urban city. Like I'm
Wait
just
a
out in the
minute.
boonies
Okay.
where-
Break this down for me, though, because I don't get it. Okay. People are going into coffee shops, watching porn, but they can't be masturbating.
I don't know. No, obviously not. No, I would say no.
So
I don't
how
know
is
what
that
is.
pleasurable?
I don't know. Maybe it's like I don't know. Suze, you're asking like me, like I'm gonna know an answer.
No.
Maybe I should Google this.
I just want to know your theory.
For this one, I mean, I almost put it in the same category, but it's not really the flashing. It's more like maybe it's like, what do you call it when you have sex in public? It's kind of like voyeurism, but it's not really. That's more like on display. What do you call that?
Oh, yeah. Exhibitionism.
Exhibitionism. Maybe it's like that.
Okay.
Why are people watching? I'm Googling this.
But that makes there's kids and stuff, and like that is not
it's fucked
okay.
up. And who are these people?
That's what I don't get. And why aren't they embarrassed?
I mean, there's a whole thing on like a Reddit Starbucks thing
my
that says
God.
what to do about customers watching porn in your cafe.
Holy crow. Are they people
So
that don't
apparently
have
this is a
internet
thing.
at home?
Oh, what if?
But I mean, good night. If you have a computer, or is it on their phones? They're doing it.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know why this is a
We
thing.
don't know enough.
I have no, like, really, I can't, and everything, okay, Forbes says who even,
Yeah. Yes. That's
who
what we
even
need.
is watching corn, who even is watching porn at Starbucks?
Okay.
I don't know. Well, and then I click on it and it says the connection is not private, so
I just
that's
can't
weird.
believe that
Go figure.
it took them this long to ban that.
Did it take him this long to realize it was happening so all over the place. And then as soon as they did, they're like, whoa, we got to stop this.
I mean, if that was happening around me, I would not be okay. I would tell the manager.
So here's my question.
Yes.
Do all of these, is this something where, like, say, I'm going to call these individuals, is it fair to call them sexual deviants?
I mean, I think they are, but you're usually more forgiving.
I know, but I almost feel like stuff that violates social norms would
in
be
public,
considered,
for sure.
In public, okay, we'll call them sexual deviants. So, like, and even like flashers, all that kind of stuff. Does easy access or like more, how do I put this? Like a world that caters more to those behaviors help those individuals not act out in more violent ways?
Right.
Or do you think it adds to it and it like is fuel for the fire?
I believe it's fuel.
Ooh, but then I think about like repression of anything causes it to like get to a boiling point, kind of like how that serial killer said it's like having to go to the bathroom and you can only hold it for so long. Well, what if like you got to go to the bathroom a little bit every now and then?
Okay, but I feel like the porn industry is like if you have to go to the bathroom and then someone like pours water right next to you, so then you really have to go.
Okay, I think you're right too.
That kind of thing.
Because abstaining from that leads to like a rebuilding of all of like it sensitizes you as opposed to desensitizes you.
And I was reading this article about how terrifying it is for people that work in the hotel industry, like housekeepers, because there's so many people now that watch that kind of porn where like it's like voyeurism, and then they think that they can just like whip it out when the housekeeper, right? And so some hotels are giving housekeepers like call buttons, like emergency call buttons.
Oh my God! Let's not say they. Let's just say men, because this is not women who are vigorously masturbating to the help.
Stop! I love how you said vigorously.
The only way I imagine them doing it.
Sarah, you're so right. Yes, but I feel so.
Always seems frantic when they're.
You know how people got mad at us when we talked about happy endings, but because it endangers massage therapists if men especially, sort of see it as a a green light to
point,
whatever.
Yeah.
Right,
respect and consent first and foremost.
Obviously.
I've got a story. I've got a story that's in the category of, attraction.
Wait, okay, hold that thought, because what I am attracted to is a really sleek, gorgeous toothbrush.
Oh, and I'm attracted to clean white teeth, so 2 for 1.
This is my idea. Quip is the perfect stocking stuffer. I am telling all my friends. I just told my friend Kelly, because she was asking me about them. I'm like, get them for your kids, because kids' toothbrushes are so ugly, and these are so cute. And Lincoln loves his. They can pick the color.
And it's not bulky like a regular big one, and the color can match, and it's timed so that they can learn how long they need to brush their teeth and in what spots.
And he will not stop until that 2 minutes is up, which sometimes is annoying to me, but it's probably good for his teeth. Quip toothbrushes look great. They stick to the mirror, but they come off easily so you can clean it. They pack up to travel super nice, and you can pick the color you want. And then they send you refill heads every 3 months for $5. So it's great because you don't have to think about how often to replace it. That's why we love Quip and why they have over 5,000 verified 5-star reviews. Quip looks like a big-ticket tech gift with stocking stuffer price. Start at just $25. And if you go to getquip.com/braincandy right now, you'll get your first refill pack for free with a Quip electric toothbrush. But you don't have to tell your giftee that. That's your first refill pack at getquip.com/braincandy. Okay, tell me your story.
All right, so this is a story about something that we use to lure or attract the opposite sex that was lured to attract something else. Did you hear about the tiger in India that had killed 12 people?
No.
Okay, so there's a tiger in India that's like roaming around. They've named this tiger T1. It's a female, and she has 2 cubs that are hunting with her. And she's killed 12 people so far, and they cannot catch this tiger. I mean, she's outmaneuvered everything. They even used like horses and goats and tied them to trees as bait to try to trap this tiger with like nothing. She somehow like gets away or gets out of the traps. But there is one thing that successfully has caught multiple tigers, and now they're going to use to catch this one. You will never in a million years guess what it is. Give me
Perfume.
like a... Oh, you guessed it!
No, you're lying.
Susie, that's it. It's Calvin Klein's Obsession.
What?
Yes. I set you up with the obsession to track the thing.
I didn't know it was
tractomate.
Calvin Klein's obsession.
Oh, so this is like it's a real interesting thing. So there's a like perfumes, they use these odors or these fragrances that come from really bizarre places sometimes. And there's an ingredient called civet that's from a civet cat. It's like a scent that's released when the cat marks its territory. And it's extremely alluring for tigers. Like tigers and members of the cat family are very attracted to the scent and will come from miles away to sniff it out.
What?
And so, yeah, can you believe that? And so they're in Calvin Klein's Obsession. There's like a high concentration of this with a balance of other fragrances that they call it Civetone. It's like a synthetic version of this that is the only thing that works. So there's a study that was done at the Bronx Zoo, and it says cats are attracted to certain scents in the perfume. And there was a leopard that was killing people in another city, and in 2013 they used that same perfume to lure the leopard. And they tested it against Chanel No. 5 and Jovan Musk, I don't even know how to say that. And CK Obsession was numero uno for nabbing the tigers.
Wait a
for
minute.
grabbing the large pussycats.
I know this is not the point of your story, but I do want to know, like, isn't it the case that they normally wouldn't attack unless you were like coming close to their kids?
Oh, and
Like,
she is with
why
the
is
cubs.
it killing 12 people?
I think it's more like urban sprawl because the cities have expanded out into areas that, were not lived in by humans before, that they're coming closer because their food sources are so scarce. It's kind of like coyotes in California.
Yeah.
Their food sources are running out, so they're coming and starting to eat human food, and they're getting more and more comfortable with the humans.
They're starting to wear our perfume.
They're starting to wear our perfume. Oh, my God. Next thing you know, one of them will be rolling around naked in a black and white commercial on the beach.
I would love to know
Obsession.
if that perfume sales have dipped in India. Because who's going to buy it? Nobody.
Oh, my God, because then what if a tiger's attracted to you?
Right.
God, you end up getting mauled just because, you wanted to smell fresh?
That is so bizarre. And, like, how
Wow.
would they even figure that out? I guess because it has that chemical in it, right?
Yeah, it's that civet. Well, and then the weird part is they said that this fragrance or odor or whatever smells like straight up doo-doo in its concentrated form. Like they said it. They said poop.
No.
They're like, it smells like poop. They called it fecal floral.
What?
Yeah. And when it's concentrated, it smells awful, but when it's diluted, it has nice floral notes.
That is weird.
That's probably one of the only stinky things that when diluted has nice floral notes, because nothing going
It's
on
like-
in this house.
It's like poopery.
Right? Oh, my God. But poopery just smells like rose-flavored poo after a little while. I have to switch up the fragrances, like, monthly, because it smells
That's
gross.
right, because then you associate it with poop, right?
Yes. And lemongrass was ruined for me, so now I'm like on a. That's so funny you mentioned that because I went out and bought the new Christmas holiday scent last night because I'm like I got
Holiday scent.
Yeah.
Well, because I know those people that light matches after they shit.
Yes, I do.
Well, then I think they start to associate the smell of a match with it.
Wow.
And
I
that
watched a
seems
whole...
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I just feel like that's a real shame because I love the smell of a burning match.
Oh, yeah. I don't... I'm that person who lights a match, and if need be,
Sure.
if I'm eating enough fiber that week. And I still like the smell of matches. And I don't think,
okay.
I watched a whole Mythbusters on what that does. Whether it
what
eats
is
up
the scoop? I'm so excited to find out.
Yeah, isn't that cool? So what I thought it did was there was something about the I don't know what happens when you spark it, like that chemical reaction that then eats up the particles in the air, so it neutralizes it because it's almost that that's what it seems like it does. No, it really is just a masking of the odor. It's not. The particles are all still there. Poo particles, as I lovingly refer to them.
I cannot believe that, actually.
Yeah, they did the test and everything, and I was shocked too. Because that was not their hypothesis. They thought the same thing that we did.
What?
And
did they call them poo particles?
Maybe that might be where I learned that little old saying.
Because what does that even mean? What's a poo particle?
Like particles of poo, like scent, like anything that has a scent has some sort of density to it. It's the molecules that come together to form that odor. It's I don't even know what the sulfur and so that was what I was thinking it did is that it somehow the sulfur got used in the explosion or what little match lighting or whatever. I don't know. Whatever, little mini thing. But no, not the case. It just covers it. So that's why sometimes you need two and what else.
Well, then why don't you just keep on using matches if you still like it instead of buying holiday poopery?
Because I feel like you'd go through way too many matches. And then, what do you do with the match afterwards? You got throw it in the toilet? A new match every day? That's a lot of matches. And poopery is a hundred. Well, daily. That right? There's 2 people in this house.
I love that. You had to stop using matches because they were just so many.
No. Okay, that's a good point.
That's my favorite.
But
I get your point.
Okay. So, a week. So, say a week goes by and you got 14 little used matches, or maybe you have 24 little used matches because it's the holidays and we're eating extra. And then what? They're in the trash can and I'm scared of putting matches in the trash can because I'm scared it's going to light the trash on fire. So somebody will make leave the match on the toilet and I just don't want that. So then there's a whole pile of matches and I don't know. Whatever, Suze. I like the smell of potpourri.
Okay. When how we've been talking about us going to antique shops, our family lately.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny to me that you can buy those. Basically, people collect matches, and you can buy entire collections, but they're hundreds of dollars.
Yeah,
but I don't
because
get
those
why.
matchbooks are expensive. I mean, I
guess they're collector's items.
Yeah, they really are. And then I think some of them are rare. Anything that's rare or that's disposable that normally people would just throw away. You keep those things.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you are pooping a lot or you want to poop a lot, I think the answer might be for you to get some Ritual vitamins. These are...
Make them healthier poos.
Yeah, make some healthy poos. These are my now go-to. I take them every day.
Same.
They have the essential for women, and it has all the stuff that women lack, and they taste like mint and don't make you sick. I mean, that's basically all you need to know about them because... That's been my problem with multivitamins all along. They have D3, they have omega-3, and basically fill in the gap if you're not eating what you should, which that's most of us. And no fishy aftertaste. Ew, gross. Hate that. And now they have a prenatal, which is so great.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
if you're
lovely.
thinking about getting preggers or your preggers, these are a great option for that. They send them right to your door, so it's an easy subscription. You won't even have to think about it.
Oh my God, and they don't taste bad? They won't make you puke?
Exactly.
I am definitely going to get that.
Yes. Whether you're living life or creating it, why not add some good-looking science into your daily routine? Visit ritual.com/braincandy to start your ritual today. That's ritual.com/braincandy. I mean, no brainer on that one.
I mean, I love our sponsors.
Me too. I'm always
I just was
saying
thinking
this.
about like Christmas is like my favorite because I'm like, ooh, I got this deal. I got this deal. I'm going to use this. I'm going to get Jordan some Liquid IV. Blah, blah, blah. So.
Do you have people asking you like if we really mean it? Because that happens to me all the time.
No, not really, because I think a lot of the products that I've really shared that I love on here, other friends of mine have also loved, like ModCloth. Like,
Yeah.
I've got a whole bunch of friends who wear those, like that style of clothing, and I mean, everybody.
So
loves
they
those
already
clothes.
know. Yeah.
They already
get
know,
it.
and they're like, "Oh my god!" And then when they, don't know, like the Rothy shoes, I just bought everybody for their birthdays because I'm like, "No, you have to own these because they are the most comfortable." And then we talk about that every time we get together. Oh my god, aren't our shoes great? So.
Well, this is actually speaking about, because we mentioned motherhood and like having a baby and stuff. Let me ask you if this surprises you. There was an article, I think it was in Atlantic, but it was about how women supposedly become more creative after motherhood. I'm sure that probably makes sense to you, right?
Mm-hmm. I think it's more like you're finding, so like the measure of well, first, tell me what you have to tell me about this.
Okay, well, they were just talking about how first they did these studies on rats and found that rat moms catch food 4 times faster after they have a baby, and they're more lethal in like catching whatever's alive. Like it's like they become stealth ninjas.
Right, we do. Get it, little mice.
Because they have to feed their babies. And then it also just was saying that even though having a child adds more problems to your life, in the sort of broad sense of problem, having more problems actually makes your brain more resourceful and adaptive.
Ooh, this is a really good little like add-on to my class on life cycles and aging that I just finished. When we talked about children, like it was one of the most depressing lectures because he's like, basically all the studies say it just makes you more sad. And,
more sad?
Well, like not more sad, but it increases stress. It's it decreases happiness in a marriage, all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like none of the studies show like, oh, they're wonderful and they make your life rich. But it's the meaning thing. It's the meaning that's really good. But it's also, I think what you're saying, like that resourcefulness, that it strengthens the, or amplifies like the abilities of the mother.
I mean, I know that to be true, but it's like, it's kind of crazy to me. I mean, have you ever heard the saying, like, if you want to get something done, ask a busy mom to do it?
Oh, God, that is such a great saying.
Because they're just so used to doing everything constantly and never stopping that they're like, yep, what's one more thing?
What is one more thing? Oh, God. Yeah, that makes sense to me. And what that made me think of, so I don't know what they used to test creativity on this, but in the studies that I've looked at in the past that discuss creativity or use creativity as a, what's the word, like a variable or like a measuring tool in that, they usually do something along the lines of like giving them 5 objects and then saying, okay, use these objects to do this task. But it's very like ambiguous. Like they don't tell you how the objects go together. It's like use these objects to create as many versions of this thing as you can. And I can see how moms do that. Like one that they've used a few times is, I can't remember what study did this, but it's like a matchbox, a candle, a push pin, some thumbtacks, and you have like a cork board, and you have to somehow like get the candle to stand on top of it's like some task like that. And mothers tend to perform better on those things. People who are more creative will perform better on those things. And so I could imagine that when you're a mom and you're like in the doctor's office and you only have a pen and this, phone case and this paper clip, whatever it is, that you're like, hey, let's make a choo-choo train out of this, like to play with your kids. Like I think a good mom is creative in like a million different ways. Oh, we've got this project for school and it's crazy hair day. Okay, well let's do this and this and this and this. Like they're coming up with stuff on the fly all the time. Like, I see moms being creative all the time.
Do you think that this study would be true to any extent for dads?
That was going to be what I was going to ask you, is do you think that it changes with dads? Like, okay, so there's like almost like a change in motivation, like that rat who was more, or mouse, whatever, who was more aggressive with like getting the food and was more like proficient in hunting.
Yeah.
I wonder if, because I do think that family drives a lot of men for success, but I wonder if it's like linked to like hours worked or income or like.
Well, given that it was a rat, that implies that it's just biological rather than emotional.
Yeah.
So,
oh, good point.
I bet it wouldn't be the same to that,
right.
at least to that extent for men, because they're not the ones like carrying the child. Although I wonder if they've checked adoptive moms. If that
another good question.
I know the thing with studies is, like they can only do so much, and then someone else has to do the next one. But we always have a lot of questions, and we're like, "Hey, get to work, science."
I know.
We have follow-up questions.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to need you to do another follow-up study on blah, 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 blah. Like, they're wasting their time studying the smells in asparagus, pea with asparagus. I mean, study the real things that we care about. I mean, I care about that too, but
I think it's
not,
nice,
not on this episode.
That you might be able to add that to a class that's otherwise depressing for mothers, because we need all the help we can get over here.
Yeah, I like that. Well, I did learn in my class that women utilize more of their brain. Like they have cross-hemisphere communication more than men do.
Right.
Like
men are just like masturbating furiously.
Yes. The corpus callosum that connects the two hemispheres of your brain is like much stronger and more communicative and like more tuned in women.
So it's not all bad news.
Well, I mean, the point of the story is women are smarter. It's always
That's the point of every story. Yeah. Just ask
end.
Matt Neroni.
Right. Oh my God, that's so funny.
The end. Okay, let me move on. What do you think? Have you read about how, the shoe company Ted Baker?
Oh my God, I love Ted Baker. Not just shoes,
Me
clothing.
Too. Yeah, true.
And amazing clothing and totally my style. And me and my husband love all their clothes. Oh my God, please don't ruin this line for me. No.
What? Okay. Apparently, Ted had instilled a basically mandatory hug culture.
Oh, for Pete's sake. That's so gross. And you know what? Okay. Go on.
Okay. Well, who was that lady that got mad whenever I would segue into an ad when...
I can't remember. Carla? No, I don't remember. Kayla?
Was it Lynn?
Lynn, no.
Lynn, no. Jackie?
If I know. Karen?
We'll
Sounds
call
like
her Jackie.
Jackie,
I have to tell you something before we talk about Ted Baker's hugs, which is that this is the holiday season and you guys have tons of stuff to ship and you have to use stamps.com. Here is why. You can ship right from your house. You get to print the postage out for any letter package, any class of mail, and you just print it out, put it on your thing, and put it in your mailbox, and they come and get it. Like, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to go during this busy time of year out. It's so convenient, and I feel like this is a no-brainer because they have a very good deal for you with a free trial. So here's the deal. If you want to use this convenient service, no-brainer, and never leave your desk, you can enjoy the Stamps.com service with a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus postage and a digital scale without long-term commitments. Go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in Brain Candy. That's Stamps.com. Enter Brain Candy. Is this not the perfect time to do a 4-week trial of that?
It's like the only time. I mean, well, try it anytime, but I mean, this is when you're really going to get the most bang for your buck.
Yeah, because, I mean, how much crap are you shipping right now? Oh my God, so anyway. So much. Okay, so Ted Baker has this weird culture where everyone's supposed to hug, and a lot of women felt really, really uncomfortable because they felt obligated. Do you know, was I telling you how at my favorite restaurant, which I won't name, but Sarah, you know the one, we've gone there a couple times.
I do know. I know yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I did tell you.
Yes, you asked me what you can do.
Right. There is a new guy there that is like the manager and hugs me, and I don't want to be hugged by him. Mm-mm. And I had to ask Sarah, like, what is your advice? You should tell them what you told me.
So I was given this advice from somebody at the clinic who said, we were just having this discussion, about like how to create, what were we talking about? Who knows? But how to create kind of space when somebody tries to give you a hug and it's not welcome. And they were talking about how women who are Muslim, when they are graduating and they go up to get their diploma and like the hat, and sometimes the dean will give a hug to the students, and since they don't hug the opposite sex, they culturally like do this thing where they put their hands almost in like a prayer position in front of their chest, and it signifies like you're creating some personal space between them and you, like with your arms there, like kind of that signals to the other person to not come closer to your personal space. And for some reason, people naturally like copy it when they see it done. And they like mirror you, and so it's almost like prayer hands in front of your chest, and that it shows like respect and appreciation, and it's like touching your heart and your chest, which is nice. So it like shows caring and like compassion, care and compassion without having to give a hug, and the other person just naturally copies you.
Yeah, I am utilizing this in a variation of it by making sure that I have either Lincoln's crayons or iPad or something that I'm carrying right in front of my chest.
Yeah.
And whenever I go in, and so far it's been effective.
Oh, good. Okay, Sue, so there you go. You have tried it, and it's putting something in front of your chest.
Yeah.
Well, I can't stop
thinking. It's a shame we have to think of these workarounds, to be honest.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. And I can't stop thinking about how you told me because I have a smaller chest, that may be why I feel even more uncomfortable hugging people, because so much of my body touches them. And you are absolutely right.
Yeah, our friend texted me after she heard us talking about that and said 100% she was screaming at the show saying yes because that she agreed with that. I
never, ever thought about, because it's just like the body you have, so you just feel like, okay, well, everybody probably feels like that. Nope.
Right. Mm-hmm. I don't get, I think that in my experience, anecdotally, a lot of that sort of weird forced hug thing has come from guys that I interpret as being a little bit, I don't know if maybe like nerdy or awkward, and haven't had a lot of experience with women. Mm-hmm. And so that's a way that they feel like they can be close and touchy with women, but it does not come off well.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's a good point.
I hate it.
I think you're right.
Just in my experience, those are the guys that do it, and I'm like, you don't need to do this to get close to women.
Yeah.
Like, just stop being weird. Let's change the subject.
Okay. All right. I was going to say, because my husband's not a hugger, and I don't know very many men. I have more, I feel, it's so weird. I feel more comfortable. I'm thinking about, our friend Mariana's husband, who gives me a kiss every time I see him. He's like a kisser. It's what he does. It's what everybody does. We all kiss him back. And it's like a packet. It's cute. It's very European.
Yeah, but Landon and Kevin are both socially intelligent.
Right. Well, they would never hug me. It's weird because
they wouldn't do it unless they knew you were comfortable.
Right. True. And it would feel weird if I got a full body hug from Kevin. It would feel more intimate than when he just gives me a kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels.
But see, I feel like both of those guys know that they would know if a woman didn't want.
Oh yeah. If my body is positioned sideways to you, don't fucking come in for that hug.
Yes.
I do a sideways, put my shoulder to them. Don't do it. And then they do that weird one arm thing. Get the fuck
off of me.
Get off.
You know I'm mad when I end off with an A. Get off of me.
Go, Mia.
That's what's in
Off
Mia.
of Mia.
Did you read about how Payless pulled that stunt and got a storefront on, I think it was the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, and it was, I think the store had formerly been a Gucci or something like that, or Versace, and they made it a Payless, but they called it Paylessy or Palessi.
Oh, that's funny.
And made it look like a really high-end luxury shoe store, and invited all these influencers to come look at the shoes. And the influencers were all like, these are amazing, super high quality craftsmanship.
Oh my God.
And then but paid hundreds of dollars for the shoes. And then they were like, guess what? They're only $19.99 at Payless.
That, I like it. I'm for it.
Tell me why. I knew you would.
I love it. Because I feel like so much of our love or hate or whatever of a product is based on how it's perceived, based on perception, like it's socially constructed, like it's not even a real. I think the perfect example of that is the brand Supreme.
What's that?
Oh my gosh, Susie's been living under a rock, ladies and gentlemen.
What is it?
So Supreme is a skater brand that came out in the, I want to say 90s or maybe late 90s. But it has, for some reason, skater fashion and skater brands have taken off, and now these high-end lines are doing collaborations with them. I think it's a way to connect the youth culture with more high-end luxury culture. So Supreme has gone, they only have 13 stores worldwide, and they're like a $1 billion company now. It's crazy. So they're slapping their logo on anything. They sold a Supreme brick. I'm not even kidding, Suze. A brick with the Supreme logo on it. I think it retailed for $175, and the thing is, people are buying them. The lines out the door are around the block, and as soon as they do a drop or a release of something, people come in, swoop it all up, and then they buy it or they resell it. So the resale value of this stuff is through the roof. It's 10 times the original price, and they've put their logo on crowbars, on wire cut like pliers or bolt
but they're
cutters.
not. The products aren't exceptional in any way.
No, they're just it's like a red sweatshirt with a Supreme logo on it, and it'll resell for a crazy amount. But they're so limited. The quantities are so limited, and and it's such a out there in everybody's face line right now that people are getting paying a shit ton of money to get their hands on this stuff. But the actual value of these goods is what you get at Home Depot. I mean, it's a fucking brick. It costs 75 cents at Home Depot.
Well, so what is that in the human brain where we're like, this is something I should do?
Oh, gosh. I mean, maybe it's... I don't know if it's any different than a Gucci belt. I mean, then you can kind of argue quality and stuff like that, but it's kind of like we said about the shoes, how after you get to a certain dollar amount, anything after that is what are you really paying for here? You're paying for the label, you're paying for, what it means and all that.
Okay, but what does it mean? That you're an important person?
Yeah, or that maybe you have money to... It's
conspicuous consumption.
Oh, totally. It's like you're sending a message without having, nonverbal communication. You're, you're
signaling.
Cool. You got you're exclusive. You got your hands on something that nobody else could. It's like anything. People love that exclusivity thing.
You know what's funny is I notice out here in LA, having a dog is kind of a status symbol because it implies that you have enough room and a yard and things like that to accommodate a dog.
Yeah.
And in the rest of the country, having dogs is not necessarily like that. And in some places, it's even the opposite, where lower income areas have tons of pets. You've seen pet hoarders and things like that. And it's so weird how in different areas, different things mark different signals.
Yep. And for a while, it was the breed of dog. I think all the time there's a fashionable breed,
Yeah, that is weird.
Where you'll see like certain, well, for a while it was the French Bulldog, I think, that's like.
Yeah, it's very photographable.
Yeah,
too.
or like the Labradoodle or whatever. That reminds me.
today.
That I watched, oh my God, the best new series on Netflix, Suze.
Oh my God, everyone loves it. Dogs.
It's so good. Oh my God. I just heard somebody talking about it, or I saw something on Twitter that was like, oh my gosh, you have to watch this and bring your Kleenexes. And bring your tissues.
Did you watch it?
Oh, I watched the first
You're
episode.
losing it.
Oh my God. It's so good. I was totally crying. It's amazing. So it's like I think maybe 8 episodes, or I don't know how many, but every episode they feature a story about a dog, and it's kind of like the person's story, and it parallels the dog story. And this episode was about a girl who was, I think, 12 years old, who had very severe epilepsy, and to the point where when she was a little kid, maybe like 4 or so, she was sleeping in her bed, had a seizure, during the seizure, flipped over onto her face and almost suffocated and died because she couldn't breathe because she was having a seizure and her face was against a pillow. So the family finally got a dog that is trained to alert when she is about to have a seizure. Suze, I knew that these trained dogs, like, oh my God, I might cry talking about this. There's like a 75% chance.
That's so cute.
So I knew that dogs were, really good at smelling things and really good at, like, bomb sniffing dogs, all that stuff. I was aware of that.
Yeah, of course.
But I never really understood how they do it, especially with conditions like seizures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Do you know how they do it?
No, I don't.
Right. It's like a thing that we all just accept that dogs do, but we don't really know how they do it. And I was like, oh my God, like, I'm smart and I didn't even, like, I'm well read and I look at research of everything, and how do I not know how they do this? So what they do is they train these dogs since they're first thing they start doing these trainings with the dogs. And they take an item that, they go to people who have seizure disorders, and they get their clothes that they are wearing when they have seizures. And the odor so they'll take a doll or a dog toy, and they'll wrap it in the t-shirt or whatever item, like they'll use an item of somebody who recently had a seizure, and they'll train the dog to respond to that item, to that smell, that odor. So the scent that a person releases when they have a seizure has enough chemicals in it that your body produces that you can take that item, give it to a dog who is like a different person. It doesn't have to be, that's the craziest part, is that it's not the actual owner. It's just a person with seizures. And it's the same, just like fear is the same chemicals, seizures are the same chemicals for everybody. So they use that item, and it trains the dog to respond, and then the person who's the trainer will fall on the floor and mimic a seizure and be holding the item. And so the dog will be trained to bark and put their hands on the person or whatever it is. Oh my God, I'm going to cry. It's so sweet. And the dogs know in like a second, and they're so smart. And you see this dog and you're like, oh my God, you're smarter than you feel like this dog has the intelligence of at least a 10 or 12-year-old child, plus knowledge that we don't even know. And then the dog is sleeping with the girl. It's like he knew that this was his job, and and the trainer was like, this girl had so many seizures that the person who was the trainer for this dog said, we had to find a dog who had a really resilient personality, who loves to work so much, because he's going to be so busy doing this, he can never get bored of this job. So it's like they find the perfect personality to match with the person, and based on their condition. It was so heartwarming and so beautiful. And I was like,
everybody is saying that they just feel like dogs are too good for this world. They're too good for humans even.
They're saving us.
Yeah.
In more ways
and animals in general. Yeah.
And it's
except for that tiger that's killing the 12
except
people.
for that one. But luckily we have CK obsession. Oh, Suze, it was just like the sweetest thing I had ever seen. But there was one scene in that movie that I had to write. I wrote it down because I had to talk to you about it. It had nothing really to do with the dogs, but more about human behavior. And should we be doing more of this? So this little girl lived in a neighborhood where a lot of the houses had kids her age. So she'd been really excited about getting this dog for so long, probably told all the kids in the neighborhood about it. And when they found out what dog they were getting, they did like a FaceTime with the dog and everything. And she had a picture of it, and it was so cute and so sweet. And she was so excited about it. She went around to all of the neighbors' house, and like she introduced the dog, like the picture of the dog, showed one friend, and then she was like, hey, you can come around and show everybody else with me if you want. So that person, and they together, all of her friends went door to door around the neighborhood and showed, like the kid would open the door and she'd be like, guess what, my dog's coming in 4 days and look at the picture. And every single door that opened and every single kid who saw the picture gave like the exact right response and was like, oh my God, he's so cute, I can't wait, I'm so happy for you. And in my head I was like, why did we ever stop doing that? What? Look at these kids. Why? That is community right there. That's connection. That's love. That's like, oh, I'm going to cry again. Jesus.
I love when you cry.
It was so sweet. And I was like, what she's doing is she's going around and she's showing something that she's excited about that's going to impact her life in a positive way. And her
people are just happy for her.
Yes. And they're seeing it. And in the moment, they're like, oh my God, I love that you're getting this. And she felt the part that I think we lose as adults is that feeling that we can show our friends things that we're excited and proud of. And we can all share in each other's accomplishments. And we should do that. And it should be like, hey, come with me. Come on. I'm going to come show everybody else this. And I was like, we need to enjoy more of these things. We need to celebrate more of that stuff. And maybe that's like what, we need to just do baby announcements in person almost. I just loved the human connection that I saw. And I just felt like, oh, we should learn from these kids.
No, I need to watch it.
Oh, Susie, you're going to be, and guess what kind of dog it was?
Oh my God, the doodles.
A golden doodle.
Dang it.
Suze,
right, well, we gotta say goodbye.
You will die. Okay, well, that's a good note to go out
That'll
on.
be my homework for
yes,
today.
Yes, homework. Watch dogs. It's, oh my God, it's so good. Okay.
Bye, everyone.